Hi, Stuart. I have a question.
Yes.
As I go deeper into the inquiry of boundaries and saying no, I've found that I equate saying no with rejecting someone. And I also don't want to reject anyone. I want to love people. So I'm wondering how you can say no with the heart open.
Well, yes, very easily. You don't say no with anger and hatred and rejection. You say no because you really love somebody and you want them to respect you. You say no to somebody because they're like vampires. They eat your energy. They constantly consume you. They give nothing of a nurturing quality in return, but they just keep eating and eating away at you. And then there's a part of us that finally says, I can't live that way anymore. That has to have the strength and the courage to look at another human being and say, no, you cannot treat me that way. I need a higher level of treatment. I need real love. I need somebody around me who is nurturing, and it takes that strength. It's not being negative. It takes that strength inside to be able to finally look at another human being and say, no, I've had enough of this. And not angry. You're not upset at them. You just don't want this anymore. And then you kind of give it to them. They have to change. Something in them has to change and truly respect you as a human being. So this is not negative. This is not even turning against another human being. It's just saying, I've had enough. I really need a better level of life than you are providing me. You are giving me that your presence. And so much of the world runs that way. People need energy. Most people don't have a connection with spirit. They don't know how to work inside themselves, to open to God, to higher energy. They need energy. They take it from other people. They consume other people. It's almost like a kind of cannibalism that people eat each other's energy in order to get through the day, in order to survive. And there reaches a point in life where you really grow inside yourself, where you can look at somebody and say, no, I need a better level from you in my life than what you are doing. I cannot, you know, I can't live anybody with somebody who's like, you don't say it, but you say, can't live with somebody who's like a vampire, who's just consuming me, eating me alive. And the horror of this is most people live that way. Most relationships are that way, people eating each other's energies because they're not connected to spirit. They're not connected to the fountainhead of energy, which is, higher energy in the universe, which is an infinite energy in the universe. If people are connected to that energy, they respect other people, they love other people, they have compassion, you know, they live in a whole different manner. I mean, I just put a blog every Saturday or Sunday. A blog is posted on my website, and one of them is, nature is finally fed up. I wrote this, fed up with people. They're consuming nature, filling their pockets with endless amounts of money that one couldn't spend in 100 million lifetimes. And in the process, they are draining nature, and nature's response is what? Hurricanes and, droughts and fires and, you know, uh, COVID and disease and this and that. It's finally saying it's enough already. When will you ever learn? That song, when will you ever learn? And it's the same way with the interaction of people. We finally have to be able to say quietly, consciously, and with a good deal of love, no, I need a better level in my life. And then you can't even blame the other person because usually you get back in life what you give off. I mean, I've had so many experiences with people like this, where something in me changed and my whole relationship with them changed. The whole friendship changed. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not, no, you're not being negative. You're being positive. Hey, I need a little love. I need a higher level of interaction with another human being. I need you to treat me in a conscious way. I am worthy of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's not only you, Lisa, everyone goes through this. I've been through this so many times in life till I finally learned, Stuart, you grow inside and the world around you will treat you differently. And it does. Not everybody, but when people get crazy, you can stop it very quickly. I just say, no, I need a better level. Or I don't need this person in my life. They're eating me alive. Now, with parents and children, you can't do that. Parents and children mean you have to just grow to where you're bigger than all the stuff that goes on, all the drama. You have to grow to get bigger than all the soap opera, where it just becomes, just bounces off of you, it doesn't affect you deep inside. You can love, they're your parents, you can love them anyway. Once written a book, they're your parents. It doesn't matter what they did to you. You can love them anyway. In order to do that, you have to get really big inside. You have to get to where somebody else's neurosis, anxiety, it doesn't affect you. You are bigger than it. And you can look at them with compassion, with love, and that changes. I mean, I remember once my mother called me up. I'll never think I've told this story, and it's really quite funny. You never call me, you never call me, you never call me, you never call me. And she went on for like 5 minutes. And I had called her like, I don't know, 4 days before. So finally I hung up and I said, what do you do? So I waited about, I don't know, a minute or two, and I called her and I said, hey, hi, Ma, how you doing? And the whole tension just broke up. She started to laugh. We had a great conversation. And I said, I'll speak to you soon. Yeah, but not in 4 minutes. She said, it was me not being upset at her and just saying, what can I do to break up the tension? It's my mother. God bless her. I love her. I'm not going to be upset at her for yelling at me over the telephone that I never called her. And it took just some really thing that just came to us like inspiration. Just call her and, hi, how you doing? We haven't spoken. And she just started to laugh and laugh, and she laughed until the conversation stopped. And it was wonderful. The whole thing broke up. So what I'm saying is, look, you can walk away from any relationship except the relationship you have with your parents and your children. And they require bigness. You have to get big enough to be able to deal with their garbage, their baggage, their stuff, their soap opera, their drama, their opinions. I mean, I grew up in a family where everybody had an opinion about the way I was supposed to live. And when I was 18 years old, it made me crazy. I ran away from home. I couldn't take it anymore. And then I grew up and got big enough to where it didn't matter, because I became so confident about my life and how I was living that it didn't matter what anybody said. I could love them anyway. I mean, it's like, in Christ, who's going to throw the first stone? Who's going to judge anybody else? Surrender it, let it go. Love them anyway, unconditionally. Does anyone else have a question? Well, I know this isn't easy. It wasn't easy for me. It took years of growing and maturing in myself to get to a place where I can do what I'm talking. Now I have a daughter, and I have the same thing. She comes to me with stuff 20 years ago. I would have hit her over the head with a club. Now it's like it just bounces off of me. My answer is, what did you learn? What did you learn from this drama, this soap opera that you just went through? And then the whole conversation breaks down. It changes. I listened to what she learned instead of being upset at her for what she's going through. She said to me, that's why I love you so. You never judge me. You just always ask me what I learned from all of my trauma. She says that to me. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I hope this is clear, because we always blame the external world and never take full responsibility for what we learn from the external world and use it to grow inside ourselves, where the external world, the material world, whatever it is, understand it's no longer a monster. It's just something we can deal with. Like we can deal with love, with a sense of humor, compassion. Does anyone else have a question? I mean, look, why people have been talking about this for thousands of years, I mean, I didn't make all this stuff up. It really has come through, the Buddha, Christ, Muhammad, all the great teachers, Baba through the ages, Moses. This is the kind of thing they spoke about, they talked about. And there's a reason for it, because it works if people get big enough in themselves to connect with God and allow that energy to guide their life. It works. The Dalai Lama, that's all he talks about, being kind to people. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no questions, I suggest you go to my website, you read the blog that was posted yesterday. It's very interesting. It's really very interesting. And does anyone else have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions, we'll have meditation Tuesday. I'm looking forward to seeing you. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for being in my life. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Bye.